Okay, for number 10 and number 11, they're both radical equations. So I'm going to use one example to solve both of these. But notice that the difference is really what you want to do. In number 10, I just need to identify the extraneous solution. So after I solve which of the solutions is extraneous, where in number 11, I just want to solve and find out what those solutions are. And again, excluding the extraneous solutions. So let's remind ourselves how to solve these. For number 10, this looks very similar. The first thing you're going to have to do is subtract 4 from both sides. So what you're left with here is square root of 2x minus 5 equals x minus 4. Now I have isolated the radical symbol. That's good. I want to get that by itself because I cannot combine my like terms if there's a radical over the top of those. Also, notice that number 11 now looks very similar to this, right? You got an x minus 4 on one side, and I've got a radical on the other. So from here in number 11, I really am starting this process. So now that I've isolated the radical, now I need to get rid of that radical so that we can combine like terms properly. So we're going to square it because square rooting and squaring something are opposite or inverse operations. So now what we have left is just 2x minus 5. And then some of us, oops, make sure I have a 2 over there, forgot how to do x minus 4 squared. Well, I actually got to do my box or FOIL method. So x times x, negative 4 times x, and then move on, negative 4 times x, and negative 4 times negative 4. Let's combine those. Those on the inside give us negative 8x. So we get x squared minus 8x plus 16. Great. Now we can start to get this equal to 0 because it's a quadratic. Well, how am I going to get rid of 2x? Well, I'm going to subtract that. But how do I get rid of negative 5? Well, I need to add that because equal but opposites cancel. Do the same thing to both sides. And now we have the following. We have 0 equals x squared minus 10x plus 5. Okay. Oh, not plus 5. Come on, Kirsch. It's plus 21. Don't forget to add those. Now I can solve this by using the quadratic formula or factoring. I know factors of 21 are 7 and 3, so I can make them both negative 7 and negative 3. Those are my factors. So what are my solutions? My solutions are x equals 3 and x equals 7. Now, this is solving, but I'm not done because number 10 asked you specifically to identify the extraneous solution. The extraneous solution is a solution that's not really a solution. So the only way to identify the extraneous solution is to check which one doesn't work. Extraneous is no good. That's like a solution in disguise. So I want to find which one of those is actually not good. So I've got to go through here and I've got to plug this 3 in for the x and check. And then I've got to do the same thing for the 7. So let's check our 3. We'd have square root of 18 minus 3 times 3. That's all inside. And then I've got the plus 6 on the outside and then equals. Remember how we have a 3 there as well? That's also got to be, or that x also has to be a 3. Let's work on the inside first. 3 times 3 is 9. Well, what's 18? I'll even do this step by step. Minus 9. And that's going to give me the square root of 9. And that gives me 3 plus 6. What? What in the world? 3 plus 6 is not equal to 3. That's not true at all. So what does this tell me? That this is extraneous. That's what the question was asking me. Which of these are extraneous? What did I plug in? So x equals 3 is certainly, it's not an answer, but it's an answer to this question because they asked me what actually wasn't a solution. 3 is not a solution. And so this is actually going to be one of my keeper answers. So if you think about this problem, after you've solved in number 10, you're really just checking your work. Well, they've kind of solved it for you. So you just got to check for number 10. And so I also want to plug in 7. And so let's plug in 7. We'll plug that in for all of our x's. And we get this. We get, let's see, 18 minus 3 times 7. Plus 6 equals 7. And I get 18 minus 21 plus 6 equals 7. That gives me square root of negative 3 plus 6 equals 7. What in the world? Does that work? It certainly doesn't work. So in this case, what do I have here? Well, -3, I can't even square root that. That's extraneous as well. And so in this way, we actually have two extraneous solutions. So for number 10, if it's asking me to identify 3 and 7 are extraneous, but don't get caught in that trap for number 11. Number 11 doesn't ask you that. It just asks you to solve. So really, there's two extraneous solutions, but if I had to solve this the whole way, I would say no solution. So there's no real solution. So for number 11, when I'm asking to solve, there's no solution. But in number 10, if I'm asked to identify the extraneous, I want to actually say what isn't a solution. So it's a little bit backwards based on my check. Aside from that, I think that's it. I'm just kind of looking at my work real quick and making sure that I got my factors and everything good. And I think all my work is good. I just think we don't have any solutions.